Okay, we'll work on poster board pieces now. Take this former piece, and it doesn't have a really specific place it needs to go, but wherever it gets tight, and it needs to be, this is a vent hole for the power pod, so you want it to be behind that. So anywhere in there, like right there, is good. So test fit it and then glue it in. Okay, now take the nose cover section and kind of center it over the nose and push the sides down and kind of mark where it needs to go. Mark the edges. So I'm going to take a piece of tape just along one edge here. Oops. Like that. Line it up with the marks that I made earlier. Tape it onto one side. Get another piece of tape on the other side. Would have been a little bit nicer to use one piece of tape along here, but oh well. Okay. So now kind of just cut along forget how I did this before. Okay, that's a little bit rough. So I'm going to clean that up. And I think my scissors are kind of messed up. That's part of the problem. But so this just should be nice and smooth curve along the edge there, and I've left a little extra so I can clean that up. And then I'm going to put a piece of tape across the front edge. piece of packing tape. Okay, so I cleaned up the nose and put a piece of tape over it. It's kind of a vulnerable spot here, so it helps to have the tape. So here's the windshield, and now we're going to attach the windshield kind of the same way. So this part's folded down over the top. And I'm going to get it positioned how I like it. And mark it. And then tape it like we did the nose. Yeah, I forgot that we should have put some hot glue underneath this, the nose on each side, so I'm going to do that a little bit. Add a little bit of hot glue just to keep it secure. Probably last longer. Actually, a little bit of hot glue under there. A little bit of a blemish there, but that's all right. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue under here and here to tack this down. Okay, now that we have our wing and fuselage mostly put together, we'll try the wing fit. See how it fits. That should just slot right in. And be nice and have a nice, that should fit together tightly there. Like that, that's pretty good. And the other side. Like that. That's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to make the control horns. There's 6 of them, and I am using 1/32 plywood, which is a little bit thin, but I found that it works fine for me. What I do is, on the spot that's going to be weakest is around the hole, I put some thin CA on it to reinforce it. So you could do that, or you could use 1/16 or bigger plywood, or you could take 2 layers of 1/32 and hot glue them together and then drill through as well. So whatever you want to do, I find 1/32 to be fine. So what I did is I took the pattern from the plans and I made a bunch of little rectangles here, and I traced one onto here. I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm probably just going to use it as a pattern to cut out the rest. I just want to do this as quickly as I can. So, see how it goes. And I like 1/32. The main reason I like this is because it's easy to get and it's cheap, but you can cut it with scissors, and it's just so much more convenient when you can cut it with scissors. So. Okay, just trying out that hole size. There we go. So there are 6 control horns. Alright, so now I'm going to a little piece of wax paper here. I'm going to put a drop of CA on each one of these around the hole to strengthen them a little bit. Okay, let those dry. Okay, now I'm going to attach all the control horns into all the control surfaces on the wing and the tail. So you should have a slot there from the plans, and you just kind of work the control horn in, and you don't want to push too hard so you come out the other side, but just try to get all the way in as far as you can. I went a little bit too hard on this one and made a little bit of a dent, but not a big deal. This one I went in already and it didn't make too much of a dent or anything, so that one was better. Okay, now we'll install servos, and I need to make sure that the servo is going to fit in the hole, and I see that the holes are a little bit small for these Hobby King HXT 900 9-gram servos. I made the holes a little bit smaller just to accommodate smaller servos if you want to use them, but these need to be, the holes need to be made a little bit bigger. So I'm going to mark it and increase the size of the holes. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so these are going to need some extensions coming out, and I only have 50 centimeter extensions, which is probably a bit too long, but that's what I have, so I'm going to use it. Make sure the ground goes to ground, the dark wire goes to the dark wire. And I like to put some tape on this just to make sure it doesn't come loose inside the wing. Okay, so I'm going to feed this in here, and yeah. Okay, what I like to do is you can kind of see the wire through this hole right here. No, you couldn't, but I can. Put a little bit of hot glue and tack the joint where the servo lead meets the extension is right there, and if I put a little hot glue in there and tack it down, it'll keep it from flopping around in the wing and making noise and being annoying. So I'm going to do that. Drop a little bit of glue in there and then move this around so it lands on it. So you probably can't see, but inside there, I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, okay, so that's one. And we'll do the rest. And the middle one doesn't need an extension, so it'll just go straight in. Oh, I forgot. One thing is we'll glue this down. Oops. Put a little bit of glue underneath each side of the servo. Seems to hold it fine, and if you ever need to take it out, you can just cut right through that and the servo comes out. That's a little bit of a mess. Okay. One thing is you want the servo lead to, so this is the channel. You can see that this is the space in the wing where the wires go between the spars. So you want the wire to go forward, not back, because the spar is just right there. So you want it to go forward, not like that. Okay, just to keep these from falling back in there, I'm going to put a servo Y on there. Okay. Alright, so the servos are in. Next thing is to attach them. Okay, so I've added the servo control arms, and I put a Dubro easy connector on each one, and they gave me a little bit of trouble. The threads weren't, it wasn't threaded all the way down to the hole where the wire goes in, so I had to kind of chase the threads a little bit with the screw, and it seems to be fine after that. So now I'm going to create the push rods, and just, this is 0.047 piano wire. And I'm going to make a little Z-bend at one end and then measure them and cut them. So I'll start with this one. Get it about the right length. And I've also attached a receiver so that we can get the positions right. Okay, now I'll do the same with the flap.